Just to explain to those who aren't really sure exactly what this is, I know you had two other people tell you what it was, but I've done a number of these things under the auspices of it was a lecture or a music seminar, and I've done them usually at schools and colleges, NYU, I did one at Southampton College here last winter. I've done the Guitar Study Center at the new school, one at CCNY, I've done a couple of them. And it's usually been with students of music, students of composition, students of the music business, who have pretty technical questions to ask. And you know, once in a while somebody wants to know, all right, what does Christy look like in the morning? You know, I mean, I want to know. The answer is she looks good, all right, so we get that out of the way. So, what I'm going to do, instead of like coming out and giving a big lecture I want to do, and I hope people weren't assuming that there was going to be some kind of concert. I don't have my band with me. As a matter of fact, I was going to bring a little synthesizer, it's called a DX7, and I left it at my house. So, but I know how to play that thing. So, and you know, I'll get to playing some things depending on the questions that are asked. But I usually start off just opening questions up to the audience, and there are people who have microphones who are going around and, like Phil Donahue. Except I'm not going to do it; they're going to do it. So we might as well just, you know, let's just start and just jump right in and see what you guys want to know. Now, where are the guys with the mics? Okay. Okay. So let's start right over here. This is going right here. Wait, the mic gets there. It's timing.
Okay.
A lot of show business is timing.
I really can't believe I'm talking to you right now. Seriously. Oh my God. Okay, my name is John Rockwell. I'm from Howard Beach. I came from Queens. Oh, God. All right. I just want to know what your future plans are, what you plan to do in the future. Because I'm
Is that a two-part question?
I want to know what you're coming out with, you know? And, you know, it has to be, it's going to be great, whatever it is, you know?
Thank you. Okay, in the future, I've been working on a record I've been in the studio since the 21st of March, and I've been writing this stuff since I got off the last tour, which is the end of '87. So since the beginning of '88, I've actually been writing. And we went into the studio in March, and I've been working with a new guy who does production with me, Mick Jones. Who's here, by the way, somewhere. Where's Mick? There he is. Stand up, Mick. Let me see you. Who also has his own solo album coming out on Atlantic Records and Tapes and CDs, and it's called Mick Jones. And it's kind of funny. Now he's done a lot of production for a number of people. With Foreigner, with Van Halen, who was it, the crazy group he did, President's, Jam is the President, which was a big hit for you. But he's had a great deal of record success within a group format and for other people, and I wanted to do another record. It's going to be a long answer, just to let you know what's been going on. All the other albums I've done since The Stranger were with a guy named Phil Ramone. And I wanted to work with somebody different, somebody who was also a writer, a songwriter, and also somebody who was a musician, because it would give them an insight into what I'm doing. There would be, I think, a lot more sparks flying, a lot more creative juices going. And Mick and I discussed doing an album, I think it was back at the beginning of the year, I think when we first started talking about it. And we're almost done. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It will end. It will be over soon. The album will be done. I will be done, yes. And hopefully I'll be able to give it to the people at Columbia Records in the next few weeks, and they can have it out by October, I guess. The album will be out in October, with maybe a single in September sometime. So, and then we'll probably go on the road again. guess we're looking at November, but we haven't booked anything definitely. It all depends on when the record comes out. But I haven't stopped doing what I'm doing. It's been a while since the last record. I know. Let's say some more people. This lady right here. Phil would run.
Hi. I have sort of a dual question. One is, when you write a song about something, would you say that it helps you accept that part of your life more? And along those same lines, would you say that you're most often inspired by a mood or an idea or a rhythm or how,
Okay. Yeah, that's a dual question.
And I was afraid I wouldn't get a chance to ask you both, so I figured I'd pretend it was one.
Okay. I would have pretended a little better. Mix it up a little bit, make the guy. The first part is, do I accept something I've written about?
When you write a song, when it's completed, do you feel that it helps you accept that part of your life more, whatever you've written about?
Sometimes it gives me a better understanding of a particular subject, a particular topic. Sometimes I'll write a song, I'll write a particular lyric. I don't know why I've written it. I don't know why I started to write it. I don't know why it ended up being what it was. But sometimes it has actually helped me resolve certain things about my own psychology or my own personality or other people. Because you got to tie it up. I don't like leaving things hanging, and I also like showing two sides of an issue. I don't know if the rabbi in me or something. Well, you got that side. On the other hand, you got that side. And I don't think you've really just addressed an issue or a topic or a lyric unless you've shown both sides. Even when I write a song about love is not 100% love. Some of love is like some of this stuff, like a jab here and some pain, and you've got to address that. And there have been times I wrote something I didn't know what I was talking about. I don't know why I wrote it. It seemed like stream consciousness. And a year would have gone by, and I said, now I realize what that song was about. And sometimes the songs do become watersheds for you, repositories of information that you weren't aware that you knew yourself. They were therapeutic, catalytic, cathartic, yes. That's good, cathartic. The other question was?
The other question was, would you say you're most often inspired by a mood or an idea or a philosophy or a rhythm or...
I tell you what happens. What they call inspiration in songwriting, I chalk it up to serendipity. It's not like a bolt of lightning that comes through your head like Zeus and you become one with the gods. What happens for me is I think when I've written a song very quickly and what I would, what you would normally call, oh, this was an inspired song, I just wrote it in 10 minutes. My theory is that I dream these things. I don't really dream stories like my wife will wake up and say, and she looks good in the morning when she wakes up, and say, I had this dream, this guy was chasing me, I went here, I did that, you were there or you weren't there, I hate you, you weren't there, where were you, I went here, I did that, I ate a sandwich, it was dark, it was cold, it was, I don't have dreams where there's scenarios. I dream like abstractions, I dream shapes, I dream sounds, I dream colors. I've dreamt entire symphonies. I've dreamt these great songs, phenomenal hit albums, the entire album. I've dreamt it in one night. And I'll wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I got a little pad next to the bed. We need a pop filter on this. Little pad next to the bed. And little tape recorder. And I'll wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I said, this is so great. So great. You know what? I don't need to write this down. I'll remember this. This is too good. Go back to sleep, wake up again at 8 o'clock and go, and it's gone. But it's not gone. It's still in there. In other words, and this is a theory I have too. If you ever had a dream where you're mad at somebody or somebody did something bad to you, even if they didn't, and when you wake up and you're conscious, and you know they didn't do it, but part of your brain is really pissed off at them. That experience has left a little scar tissue in there, an emotional file cabinet goes in, I don't really like them that much anymore. They kind of come down a couple of percentage points. But when I have these dreams about music, I forget it, but it's in there, and it reoccurs to me. And when I'm sitting down and I'm writing, and some days, most days, you don't come up with anything that's any good, but some days something just pops out, boom. Wow, I'm inspired. You realize it comes so fast, and a lot of songwriters have talked about this, and I've talked about it with Nick. Those ones that come so quick, it's like you stuck your head into this atmosphere, and it just went in the ear, and just came out, what? Like, I don't know how I got there, and I don't know where it was, but that's my theory. I think it was in there, and it was a reoccurring dream. Okay. Yes, this lady right here. I'll get to you in the back. Just got to adjust the light, so you lose for a while.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering,
You got to hold the mic a little closer. Yeah.
two things. One, have you had any formal training, classical or very definite type of training? And when you say you write or compose, do you do it with pen and paper or do you do it with the piano?
That's a good question. Okay. Yeah, I had classical piano lessons from the time I was 4. We had this old upright piano in my house. I lived in Levittown, and it was an old Lester piano, and a real beat up upright piano. And I would go, my father played the piano, and my mother sang, and there was always music in the house. And I would go over to the piano and try to do it, and my dad did, and I just go, bing, gang, boom, gang, gang, boom, bang. After 4 years of this, my mother said, I can't take it anymore. You're gonna learn how to bang right. And she dragged me down the street to this woman who taught piano, Miss Francis, who also taught ballet. There's nothing wrong with ballet, but in my neighborhood, hey, you're gonna take ballet lessons, huh? Hey, Billy, you know? Hey, ballet doll, and I did that for, let's see, from the time I was 4 till I was about 15. And I was very, very good when I was younger. I was really into it. Problem with formal lessons, piano lessons, is you're taught to, you know, the epitome, the end of the lesson should be that you can go on the concert stage and play like Vladimir Horowitz. Most people can't. Most people don't even want to. You ever see these virtuoso pianists? They walk around. They're like nervous wrecks. They're very high-strung. I saw Vladimir Horowitz on the street. I hit him. Hello, maestro. He ran away from me. I was going to mug him. You know? It really wasn't what I wanted to be. And you would learn by rote. You would learn everything by the notes, and you would tend to ignore the ear. And some people have a very good ear. I had a good ear, but I didn't know until I got to a certain age. I would take Beethoven, I would take the Mozart, Kuhlau, Clementi, Czerny, Bach, Mozart, you know, it went on and on. I got to be about 12. You guys get to be about 12. Guys start to screw up a little bit, you know. Girls, you know, guys, friends you can hang out with, baseball. I didn't really want to read the music anymore. I was bored with it already. We call it reading the dots. So I used to go out and get the record. You know, I have to learn, okay, the Beethoven Piano Sonata number, I don't know, 48, whatever. And I get the record. And from the library, you could rent records from the library. And I learned it by ear. And I'd go in at the end of the week, and I really wouldn't be even looking at the music, and the teacher would turn the page, you know, and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be on that page. So she'd look at me like, what are you doing? So she kind of busted me. But it was good to have the technical training. I've forgotten most of it. I think it's good to have a background in a formal training or something. And then you can get rid of it if you want. You can utilize it, you can throw it out. To this day, I don't read music anymore. I don't sight read. To answer your other question about when I write, do I write with a pen and paper, or do I just play on the piano? When I usually write the music first. Not usually, I always write the music first. And I do that sitting at a piano or a keyboard synthesizer. And I'll play something I like. I'll play it often enough so that it's programmed in here. And then if I'm willing to start really committing to it as a piece of work, I got a little tape recorder, nothing fancy. One of these little Japanese things. Just hit the button, and it's not Dolby or anything like that. It's just very, very simple. Although You know, I'll take my singing probably. Wonderful thing. And then that's really how I'll commit it to, being programmed onto something. And then I'll write a lyric. Then that's when I work with pen and paper, sit down with a spiral notebook. And depending on the album project, let's see, last album I had a blue cover. So this album, let's try to red it. It's as scientific as it gets. And I'll just write words and write words and write. Sometimes the music absolutely dictates what a lyric has to be. The vowel sounds, the consonant sounds, soft sounds, hard sounds, subject matter. But that's pretty much how I write. And what I will do is I'll come into the studio, and the studio time is booked, the band is there, and I'll say, this is the song. I'll either play it for them on the tape, or I'll play it on a piano or a keyboard and sing the lyric. And then, as the recording process goes on, we go into headphones and we start laying things down on tape. And that's pretty much how I write. Okay, I'm going to go to the back now. The guy with the... Yeah.
Billy, Just the Way You Are. It happens to be my favorite song that you've written. And could you just go back and think to, were you fooling around with chord progressions, or just get to the origin of how that song came about? And the second part is my daughter here. Go ahead.
I just want to know, like, in between, when you're doing albums and things, do you ever feel like there's nothing left that you can say, or do you ever get frustrated? And when you do you try to discipline yourself to write something? And do you get frustrated?
That's a good question. Let me answer the second one first. Yes, the downside of coming up with a good song or writing something that you think is good is a lot of times you don't come up with anything, or not being able to be productive. Now, I've learned that there is a rhythm and there's an ebb and flow to productivity. Some, like Stevie Wonder, he drives me crazy. He writes a song a day. I met Stevie Wonder. I write a song a day. And if he wasn't blind, I would have slapped him. But I probably would have missed, He writes a song a day. Now that is amazing. I mean, of course, you don't hear 365 songs on the album, because I'm sure once in a while, one of those songs has got to be really bad. But it's good to be able to do that, and that's a discipline that he uses, and he's come up with some wonderful stuff. There is, like I said, a downside to not being able to come up with anything. You feel like you're useless, you're dried up, you don't have anything else to say. You wonder, is that it? Am I tapped out? Is that it? Is that all I got? And you feel useless, and it's depressing. And you have to learn how to deal with it. You have to say, so I just can't write that. Okay, so what? All right, so I can't write today. And kind of walk away and start again the next day. And it takes a long time to do that. But the question about Just the Way You Are, I remember writing the song. I always had wanted to hear somebody tell me, you're okay just the way you are. I mean, it's not a new sentiment. I think even the Four Seasons had a song. Remember Rag Doll? Rag Doll, I love you just the way you are. Right? So, I mean, I'm sure Sinatra did it. Listen to this Sinatra song. It's been written about it over and over again, but it never addressed as one issue. I started writing the song. It was in the key of D.
Piano. Right!
I was writing it on a Rhodes piano, electric piano, which has a very different sound than this. Rhodes is kind of, it's rounder. It's got a little more dirt in it, I guess. It was right in key of D, and usually the thrust of the song comes out of the first 3 chords for me. Start here, and I could have gone. I wanted to go, and that's where it started falling to what it was going to be. That's what I remember that part. I technically had this right down in the house. It's a D, and then it goes to an E7, but instead of the E tonic in the left hand, I went to a B in the left hand, which is not the tonic of E7. And then I went to a G major 7. And then, what? Okay. D, and then E7 with the B bass, and then G7 and G bass. And that was pretty much, it is written, you know. It is now written. This is where it must go now. You know? And I started writing the lyrics. Okay, what is this song? What is it saying? I remember the bailout lyrics. Like, don't go crazy. Don't be lazy. Don't bring me juice alone. I'm not hungry. I'm only thirsty. Those are called, now wait a minute, I'm not saying that's what I wanted to write about, but that's what the song was going to be about. It's what you call bailout lyrics. Now, I think there's a well-known song by the Beatles called Yesterday, where McCartney talks about it was called Scrambled Eggs, and I understood exactly what he was talking about. Scrambled eggs, all I wanted was some scrambled eggs. But you write bailout lyrics just to get through a song, and it helps because to go da 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 do do di scooby dooby do do you start to feel like a real dope. At least you're saying something when bring me something to drink. It sounds like you're at least doing something, or you got something to hang it on to. So that's how this song got written. And then the lyric, now the bridge in that song is like I was talking about. It's a love song, but there's an element of anxiety in it because in the bridge it goes, I need to know that you will always be the same. And I didn't want to say old. The same, but I did. The same. Someone slipped by. Oh, the woman I was living with, I was like, oh. And then the edge of anxiety goes, what will it take till you believe in me? Well, I believe in you. So there's that little suck, which I think made it more of a meaningful song because it had that little dark side to it. So that's the explanation. I'm so cool. I was like, I know it's clear on the bottom. Okay. Like I said, these things, you never know what's going to happen. Now let me go over to this side. Okay, this guy waving right here.
My name is Glenn Greenberg. I'm from Locust Valley, and I just I just want to applaud you on the stuff you did in Russia. That was great. I'd like to know what your feelings are in retrospect, coming back from Russia and, trying to make the bridge and all, because it was such a great thing. And I also want to know what you think, the regular people can do to try and continue the bridge.
That's a good question.
And my friend Bonky has a good question for you after me.
Sport.
My question is, it's a little slice of life. I was out in Colorado, and I was talking about politics to a woman, and she said to me, she played me the song, and you'll go to the grave as an angry old man. So my question is this. should we all not believe in causes? And if we all don't believe in causes, does the world blow up, or do you still feel that way?
That's a good question. The point of that song was, I think it's good to get angry about things that are worth getting angry about. At the time, this was the 60s, there were people I knew who were just professional angry people. They would just latch on to whatever it was that was something to get angry about without even really believing it. There was just, all right, yeah, pissed off, oh, well, wait, that's good too, you know. And they were more or less troubled in their own life and would seek answers in causes before they discovered the reasons for their own anger and things. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not an amateur psychologist. But this was written about someone who was just angry at everything and blamed the world for everything that went wrong. And he was a good friend of mine, and I had to write this song. I said, I want to write this song about this guy. Because there was a situation came up, and he said, where I had to, he was working, he was doing a job, and he was screwing up. He was doing everything wrong. He was the first person I had to fire in my life. I really felt bad about it. And I'm not comfortable being a boss, but I had to let him go. He was lousing up everything. I had to let him go. And what he said was, you're just like everybody else. You're Pontius Pilate. You're washing your hands. And I felt terrible. And then later I said, if I'm Pontius Pilate, then he thinks he's Jesus Christ. And I'm easy to make guilty. It's my background. I have ancestors that were guilty for centuries, you know. And then I wrote this song. I said, you know, it's a little tiresome to always be angry. There's enough to be angry about, but there's enough to be happy about too. The first part of the question about Russia, the thing that amazes me about what's going on, there seems to be, aside from the horrible things that are going on in China, a great deal of change in the Soviet Union itself and in the Eastern Bloc countries. I mean, I remember I was born in 49. I grew up as a Cold War kid all my life. And McCarthy and pictures on the TV. I thought we were all going to get blown to hell any day. People around, they had bomb shelters in my neighborhood. That's all everybody thought about was how when are we going to blow up? When is it going to blow? In the school, you won't. Still not over. You know, school, you had air raid drills, get under the desk. I mean, this scared the hell out of me all my life. And it's been 40 years of Cold War. Not a hot war, but 40 years of Cold War takes its toll. It seems to be changing. I know a lot of people don't trust it, but I was there. Those people don't want a war. Believe me, they don't want a war. They lost 20 million in World War II. I mean, 20 million. They know it. Like, their wives, their children, I mean, would slaughter the Russians. They don't want a war. And I know we don't want a war, and they know they don't want a war. So now it seems to be like things are kind of getting friendly, and then everybody seems to be kind of blasé about this. I mean, maybe it's going away. Maybe the Cold War is ending. It seems to be. That's one of the things that troubles me about it. When the Glasnost era started happening, things started to open up, and we went there. The main reason I went there was not so much for them, but for us, because I would announce it at concerts. And such, and in July I'm going to be going to the Soviet Union. Boom! And I was just like, wait a minute, you know, they like rock and roll too. You like music? They like music. You know, and they know us through our popular culture more than they know us through politicians, more than they know us through. Believe me, they do not believe the crap that they hear on their TV and radio. They don't even hear it anymore. It's like wallpaper. Because I'm watching a TV show over there, and I'm asking, what's that guy saying? What is that? He goes, that's not anything. It's like their commercials, you know? They don't even see them anymore. And I went over there just to, for me and for my daughter, and just to try to do something. It was something I could do. And I did go over there and get on a soapbox, because everybody was coming at me. You got to tell them about this. You got to tell them about that. You got to talk about peace. I said, what we were doing? They know more about rock and roll than a lot of people here do. Their alphabet is the Cyrillic alphabet. You know, it looks like Kluk, you know, like USSR, CCCP, you know. But they know how to write English because they got Led Zeppelin albums. And they spray paint Led Zeppelin with the G on the end, Led Zeppelin. You know? They love pop music. They love jazz. You know, my dad, when he was over there during the war, when they met a couple of the Russian soldiers, they gave him like records by Glenn Miller and Harry James, and those records are still being played over there. You go to an airport lounge. And the lady's making, you know, the lousy food that they make, when she's making it, she's and it's like everybody grooves to this stuff. And that's probably one of our best exports has been our popular culture. Blue jeans, fashion, music, movies. They ask me about movies. Did you see Southampton? You know? Oh yeah. What did you think the point? And they go into this philosophical discussion about it. Southampton was a good movie, you know. But they're crazy to that about us. They're crazy for movie stars and television shows, and it's a big part of our culture, America. We really kind of invented a lot of this stuff, and they love it. And they know us through that. They don't know us really that well through politicians or anything. They know us through that. And I really felt it when I was over there, and I played on stage, and they went crazy, and they're looking around like, you know, are they going to do anything to us? And I said, you know, do what you want. Feel free to do what you want, just as long as you're in the fire regulations. You know? And they trashed the chairs, just like they do in Detroit. And they were jumping up and down into our business. It's the first time we were allowed to do this. Now, to be fair, there was a lot of press there, and the authorities knew that the press was going to be seeing it, so they didn't do anything to keep it down. But once that Pandora's box is open, once they know what that feels like to feel that free, which, by the way, is why I got so mad I threw the piano when I was over there. I don't know if you heard about that. This is my side of the story, okay? I read Time magazine and said I apologize. I never apologized. My mother told me, did you apologize? I said, no, I didn't. I didn't think you did. What happened was, you see, all right, the lights, like, you're fairly well lit now, okay? Imagine this magnified about 100 times, movie lighting, where you feel like you're going to have neurosurgery any second. And it's the first time you've been able to see a major Western rock and roll star. And you're there, and you're in Russia, where you're paranoid to begin with. So you're like this, you know? And you know, I don't know you, but when I'm watching a rock and roll show, I'm doing, you know, making those real ugly photographs, they'll probably use. You'll look like a but you like to do your silly little stuff in the dark, and even if you can't dance, if you're in the dark, you kind of do your stupid little shuffle, you know? Now these people were being lit, and they weren't even being filmed that night. They were just testing the lights. Testing the lights. I said, turn the lights down, please. Thank you. Turn the lights down. Please turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. And it wasn't that. It was our own film people who didn't care about the fact that we came there to do a concert. That was the emphasis of it. These people pay their money. The hell with your movement. I want to, you know, have these people have a good time. The lights would not go up, not go up. People, I could see them like this. They couldn't even see the stage. So I got pissed off, and it wasn't one of these pianos. The president was one of these, you know. Maybe if there was a kid under there, I could listen. You know what I mean? But it was a small electric piano, a CP80 electric piano. I don't know. It's a little bit. And I flipped it. Now, the funny thing is, I flipped that same piano about 20 times in the States. Nobody thinks of it. Some nights it doesn't work. You hit it doesn't work. I got another one, you know? That one doesn't work, look at the other one. Oh, you know? And that's like really nothing. You ever see The Who? You know? Well, Hendrix set the thing on fire. You know, Jerry Lee Lewis was doing this stuff. So I flipped the piano, and then I take the mic stand. Now, Russell Lynn, there he is. Russell was with us in the Soviet Union, and he works on our sound. How many mic stands do you bring for me on a tour?
We just keep bringing more and more out. Always have at least 5.
Well, okay, now there's 5 mic stands on the side stage. Why? Because when I run around, I'm not Nureyev. I'm not Baryshnikov, as you see with the water. I trip, I bang into things, the mic stand breaks, I get in the mood and I throw the thing, I try to catch it, hits me in the head, it lands, I hit the piano with it, bang, and I'm good. Because the band knows when he's got that mic stand, he's running around, watch out and get out of the way. Just because I get caught up, I get, crazy. That's what should happen in a good concert. So after I flipped over the piano, I take the mic stand, bang, and I hit the piano with it, and it's Joel's Red Rage. Joel's Red Rage. And I was mad, but they said I threw a tantrum. I said I just threw a Yamaha CP8. So anyway, so that's the side of the story. But as far as what average guy in the street can do, if you ever get a chance to go over there, go over there. It's not a fun place. I mean, you're going to want to go to the Caribbean right after you get there. You're going to get hungry. Great place to lose weight. I lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. You don't have to go to these fat farms. Go to Russia. You will drop. A main cellulite gone. But they love Americans. I mean, I walked through the street and these old people were hugging me. American? Yeah. And I'm thinking, when's the last time I hugged a Russian? They love Americans. How many places can you go to? Americans, They love Americans over there. It's not bad. They can improve the food situation. But I would say just to go and see with your own eyes and just talk to other people about it. Because that's the way that things get done here. Let me go over to this side here. Okay, we'll get in the middle. Okay, in the back there. Yeah, this woman. Yeah, you. It was sort of like a not shorthand. Wait, it's coming.
Did your daughter inspire you to write any of your music? Did she give you a lot of inspiration?
Yes.
Like how? Like, in other words?
Okay, it's kind of touchy because, like Stevie Wonder, who I mentioned before, wrote, Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? He's over the top. He just had a baby girl, and I remember having that feeling, damn it, that song was done. And then, I could be looking in the crib when she was a baby, and I would sing her lullabies. They were too personal. They were just too much me and her, and I really want to go outside of that. And I've written songs for her just between me and her, like little nighttime songs, and made up game songs with her. I wrote a song on the Bridge album called Temptation, which some people thought was about man-woman, and it was actually about the temptation of a child when you have a kid. That's what that song is about. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go on the road. I just want to sit here and play with you. What the hell I want to leave for? She said, just temptation is driving me crazy. And some people thought it was about, he's in love with this blonde model, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. That's true, too. What else? Okay, right here. This one right here. Wait, you're going to come with the mic so everyone can hear. Is it hot in there or is it me?
You're hot.
Air conditioner? This is Southampton. So they have air conditioning. No? They don't have air conditioning? Does Altec Lansing make an air conditioner? No? Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Of the compositions that we're familiar with, which do you consider the most difficult technically? And then maybe you could give us a sampling of what's on the new album.
You just snuck that in there. Okay. But the competitions that you're aware of, what do I consider the most technically difficult? The ones that got a lot of words, you're going to have to remember a lot of words, because in a show you do 25, 26 songs. Now, Piano Man is a simple song. It's not technically difficult. But I've been doing it for so long that sometimes in a concert, I start drifting off. I think, I wonder what was on that room service menu. Burger would be good. and they sound that the collective crowd going, the ones that are most, technically difficult would be, performance, instrumental performance, because the song like a young man saying word before with a piano chord. That I screw up every time. What's another one? Root beer rag. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
Do it! Play it!
Better with drums. Technically difficult would be, which one? Seashore Italian restaurant? Well, yeah, there's parts of it that are tough, but when it goes... You gotta sing on top of it. I gotta remember all these words again for the road, man. Missy Sinatra these days, she's got a music stand. I've got you. Under my skin. I tell you the truth, if I've written it and I've played it on a record, as difficult as it can be, it's still not that technically difficult. I wrote it and I made sure I wasn't going to write something I couldn't play.
Big man!
Technically, it's like... That's difficult. The list is difficult. Chopin, difficult. Rachmaninoff, tough stuff. Bartok, even though it sounds simple. Bartok. You know, it's like, usually you can figure out where something's going to go. Bartok, no way. I got to read stuff, you know. That was something I couldn't get off the record, you know. There was no hook. And the chorus is going to come along anyway. That's tough. But you want to... I brought something along that we've been working on the album. If you want to hear it, I can play it. Dealing with all the things that happened in his life, which was mostly the late 60s, 70s, and the 80s, which were turbulent times. And in the course of the discussion, he said to me, well, yeah, you grew up in the 50s and nothing happened in the 50s. And I got really mad. And I said, what do you mean nothing happened? You never heard of the Suez Canal, Korea, and I started writing things down. I got kind of mad, as if like nothing had happened before this guy was born. Like all the crap just started from the day he started, And I wanted to get across in this song, they're just sound bites. Well, you'll hear what it is. Anyway, it starts in the year 1949, which is the year I was born. Because everything started with me. No, but the point was, well, this is what I know about my life. And so what will happen is, as each verse goes by, it goes, and that's like 1 year. And it goes 49, and it goes through 63. And then from 64 to 89, time accelerates. It seems to have accelerated for me anyway. And without any further ladies and gentlemen, see what it sounds like. This is probably close to a final mix. It's not the final mix, but it's close to it. See what it sounds. This is on DAC, by the way. Just so you're not misled. That's not the entire tone of the album. It's just one of the songs. They're all kind of all over the place. They have a theme of something's going to happen. And the album's called Stormfront. Where is this lady who gets the question? It's called Stormfront. And there's other songs. I'll play something a little later too. It's on the album. Yeah, everybody see? What's the second half of the chorus there?
Yeah, please.
Okay, it goes, we didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's returning. We didn't start the fire, no, we didn't light it, we tried to fight it. And at the end, we didn't start the fire, but when we are gone, we'll still burn on and on and on and on. I mean, stuff's just going to happen. It's going to keep happening. But that's nice. Can I get over here?
No.
Let me get over here. Okay, the woman all the way on the end there. Yeah.
About Scandinavian skies, I was wondering where you got the concept from, because the octave range was fantastic.
Scandinavian skies is, yeah. That's the technically difficult song that we're talking about. That is almost impossible to reproduce live. We did it for a while. And boy, we had all kinds of programming things going on. Sort of a tribute to the records that the Beatles used to make in the late 60s. Is very, very complicated oral AURAL experiences where you just put headphones on. One of those big old headphones, big Koss headphones, not these little things, these big things. You sit there and, oh my God. Listen, did you hear that little thing? What's that? Oh, wait, put it back in. Wow, what was that? There's so much texture in the record. Lyrically, it's very vague. It's about drug abuse, really. If you've ever been to Amsterdam, I mean, there's views. That town is one stone town. And it's just about the horror of, drug abuse, really. But I didn't go at it from, like, you should not take drugs. I just wanted to paint this nightmarish vision of, it's basically actually about heroin addiction. Just the nightmare of it all in a sonic way. And that's, it was a tough one to record. Okay, this guy right here with the personalized t-shirt.
First of all, I'd like to say that I've been playing piano for about 3 years now, and I owe that all to you because through your music, I feel like you've taught me how to play. There's a lot all my other friends know. First song I ever learned how to play on the piano was Piano Man with the harmonica. I was wondering, how old were you when you wrote your very first song, and how hard was it to just come up with the concept?
Okay, that's a good question. The first song I ever wrote, first thing I ever wrote, I remember, was classical music that had not been written. In other words, my mother was in the kitchen knowing I had to be taking lessons. She knew I had a Mozart piece to learn that week. I couldn't find the Mozart record. Right? I'll give you an example what I would do. Mozart, style of Mozart, very classical style. So, given that, and my mother, who knew a Mozart, I gotta be playing a Mozart piece. I don't want to read this, so I just. And my mother would go, well, you're learning that one pretty quick. Right? play, I wouldn't remember what God's name I played the day before. So I would start playing. She'd go, what's that? Second movement. And then by the end of the week, I mean... Now, it was time to go into the teacher at the end of the week, and they'd hit me the music, and I'd be... She goes, your mother's wasting your money. She's wasting the money. And in the meantime, I had written like a complete Mozart concerto. But nobody ever heard this stuff. Now, the first song I actually ever wrote was probably like an ersatz Beatles tune. No, it was before that. It was like, my journey's end. My journey's end. Well, I climbed the highest mountain. This is so bad. And I swim the deepest sea. If I knew you were there at my journey's end. Well, I can tell how much that you love me by the letters that you sent. I had something else. But I'd go anywhere if I knew you were waiting there. Okay, I think that was the first song I wrote. And then everything after that for a while, because the early 60s, the Beatles came out. And I was in a band, and we all wanted to be the Beatles, so we did these ersatz Beatles tunes, like, and we'd sing them in these phony Liverpool accents. She don't love me like before. She don't love me anymore. I believed all the lies she told me. Don't you know it's true that she stole me away from my true love, and now my new love doesn't love me anymore. Really bad stuff. So, like, remember the Ruddles? It was like the Ruddles. But I do remember that stuff. There are some records flying around I can't find, 45s. Remember records? All right, here, this gentleman with the, is that Armani? Trying to fit in. What's your favorite song that you've written? Oh, okay, that's a tricky question. That's like asking somebody, what's your favorite kid? You know? You kids. You got a bunch of kids. What's your favorite kid? It depends on the mood I'm in. To tell you the truth, some days, if I hear a song on the radio that I haven't heard for a long time, I go, yeah, I really like that song. That was really good. I mean, some of them last a little longer for me, like New York State of Mind, Baby Grand, Vienna, Sleeping with the Television On. Usually the obscure stuff, you know, All for Lena, you know. No, Captain Jack, I'm sorry, Ed. Ed isn't this Jack from Philadelphia. Every time we go to Philadelphia, we gotta play Captain Jack. I know it's not Philadelphia, but I kind of burned out pretty quick. I like the chorus on it. But I'm not playing the guitar, so I don't get the same satisfaction as the guys go. You know, I'm going. But it really depends. I mean, some of the songs have gone sour for me. I mean, there are songs, just like some kids turn out to be bumps. You know, some of the songs going, like My Life. I really can't listen to that song. I'm sorry, just for me personally. I'll smack that kid. Okay, fine. You grew up, go away. Get a job, go to school, just get out. But it changes from day to day, truthfully. Am I too big for 2.5 minutes? I'd love to do a 2.5 minute song. Too big. Shit, man. No, it's something I've done, and I really don't look back a lot. Once I've done it, once you've written the music, written the words, arranged it, recorded it, sung it, mixed it, mastered it, performed it on the road for years and years, you really don't want to go back and do it again. It's like a lot of people go, I really like your old stuff, man. Why don't you do like another Stranger album? So I said, because I did the Stranger album. Well, why don't you do another one like that? So like sort of like the Stranger, but not quite the Stranger. Like Son of the Stranger, Stranger 2. Stranger, the sequel. No, the movie, the Stranger. I did it. I can't keep repeating. I get bored. I have a very short attention span. Except when I'm talking. Okay, all the way over here on this side.
I'd like to continue on that path of the 4-year-old that started taking piano. Well, first he started banging on the piano, and his mother said,
You got a cold?
I have allergies, I apologize.
Thanks, no, it's okay. It's like my wife has a cold. I wonder if they have the same thing.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
4 years old, you started taking piano lessons. And about 12 years old, you realize this child has a very, certainly has a talented ear, and he's coming along. What's the transition from piano lessons to playing in a band and singing and writing songs? What exactly, we're missing that part. I wanted to see that. Because I have a couple of kids with me, and they're hopefully on the same path.
It was girls. For me, it was girls. Okay. I mean, I played the piano. When I was taking piano lessons when I was 7 or 8, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with this? I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe about 12 or 13, I'd be at a party. There were other guys, bigger guys with better pompadours, better hair, better faces, better bodies. I'd sit down at the piano and just start going. Hello. You from around here? Yeah, I'm over from Left-Hand area. Yeah. I've seen you before. Oh, sure. Yeah, I love music. Don't you like music? And not as cold as that, but I found out that it was a way for me to meet people. It was a way for me to be social. I was shy, believe it or not. Trying to meet a girl. It's like, what she doesn't like me? What is she? No, my God, this guy's here. He's better looking at me. Why should you ever look at me? And it was a way to meet girls. And at that age, I found a way to meet girls. And I realized it wasn't just the beauty of music. It was the sexuality of music. It was the infinite possibilities, because I could turn into Cary Grant. And that made me, I think that was the thing, I mean, I didn't know it then, but I think now, the thing that made me want to go out and perform music, popular music, and write my own music, and continue music as a career, was because of that. It was just for that reason. It was, even aside from girls, you go to a party, you didn't know anybody. You could sit in the corner and start playing songs, Again, every reason to be mad. People start singing, I just lost the only girl I had. At the end of the party, I couldn't get my way right now, but I guess. And people would know you without you having to throw a whole bunch of baloney on them. They know a whole lot about it. So, I think that's the answer to the question. The transition was from piano lessons to being in a band. Was, I remember the first gig with the band, too. I'll never forget it. First paying gig I had with a band. I was 14 years old. It was at Holy Family in Church over in Hicksville. Holy Family Church. On Friday night, we got, and we had really lousy equipment, but there I am. I'm up on a stage and I'm playing this cruddy little SD organ, I think it was. I mean, it stuck a mic in the back of it, a Kent microphone. It was horrible stuff, but I'm playing, and all of a sudden, Virginia Callahan's looking at me. Come out Virginia? Virginia Callahan. Looked at us. Man, this is great. And then at the end of the night, the priest gave us $5. I said, that's it. That's it. This is what I'm going to do. That's all. I'm going to this. I don't care about school. I don't care. This is me. I'm doing this. That's all. And that's how it happened. It was a lot. It was a lot. Let's go all the way to the back. Yeah. Is that you, Rusty, in the back? You got to go to the rodeo, by the way. What's that rodeo coming up? I'll plug all my friends. I think they're coming with a microphone.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering about your song, This Is the Time, because when I was in high school as a senior, we had those competitions between the classes, and you have to pick a song and rewrite the lyrics so that it fits your class. And we picked This Is the Time because it fit, seniors were leaving the school and everything. And I was wondering where you got your inspiration from that.
I wanted to write what I call an atmospheric song. I love it out on the east end of Long Island, and I go down by the water. I'm not like a beach guy that lays there with stuff on your nose. I don't like that. I'm sweating sitting here. But I like the water. I like fishing. I like the coast. This part of Long Island to me reminds me of Up Island when I was a kid. There's still parts of it that look like the potato fields in Hicksville when I was a little kid. And I wanted to write a song about that brought that atmosphere in. Where the piano part goes, to get the waves crashing on the beach. And it's a reflective song. I think it came from an image. Maybe remember Bobby Kennedy? You'd see him walking on the beach a lot. Kennedy's always did a lot of walking on the beach. And I wanted to write a reflective song. Because you can do a lot of good thinking when you just walk along. Even in the middle of winter, it's freezing cold. It's just something about it really good for me, thinking. And so I created the texture with that sound. Just like that. You heard a little bit of what happens to me. You're not supposed to do that. And I got to the chorus, this is the time. I think I could have written a better lyric on that one, actually. This is the time to remember, it will not last forever. I was something like a Kodak commercial a little bit. The days to hold on to, the time. That part I like. The time is going to change. Yeah. I don't know what I'm getting at, but just throwing it off. But I'm glad you rewrote it, to tell you the truth. Yes, over here. Okay. Pulling himself up.
Hi, Willie.
Hi.
First, I just want to say that, of course, your music is globally and regionally accessible, but, to me, the Beach Boys always represent California. And I know wherever I'll be at age 40 or whatever, Billy Joel will always represent Long Island and New York. Yeah. What I wanted to ask was, do you think that people say that about you because you are from Long Island, or do you feel that there's an inherent Long Islandness or something in your compositions? Because I feel I'm not just talking about Captain Jack or New York State of Mind, things that have no direct reference.
Yeah, I understand the question. I've made it a point to say where I was from every time I've been asked in interviews. There's a lot of major stars in the music business that do come from Long Island that say they come from somewhere else. They say they come from Hollywood, they say they come from New York. There's a lot of people, there's people from, who is like, Eddie Money is from Uniondale, I think. He used to be Eddie Mahoney, he was a cop. Eddie Mahoney was a cop. But he lives in San Francisco and really doesn't talk about it. Actually, he does, he has mentioned it. But I've been kind of aggressive about it. I found a lot of people on Long Island don't have an identity of being an islander. There's a certain amount of inferiority complex for some reason or another about if you're from Long Island. When you go to the city, I'm from Long Island. Oh, you're from Long Island? And I said, I didn't say Long Island, I said I'm from Long Island. Yeah, Long Island. I said, oh, they say it up in the Bronx, but I'm from Long Island. Now, where are you from, Long Island? Now, that was when I was having to say Hicksville, When I was a kid, Hicksville? What? It's right outside of New York. It's Hicksville. Oh, and we got a lot of fights because of that. But I kind of always made a point of mentioning it. I think I am very proud to be from Long Island. Mountain because it's a unique place. And I've always made a point of telling people they should be proud to be from this place. It has a rich history and a wonderful cultural heritage. I mean, Herman Melville and Winslow Homer and Walt Whitman. I mean, there's amazing things that happen on this island. And I hate to see it get lost. And I know the island's kind of changing a lot. In my own lifetime, it's changed an incredible amount. Probably a lot of what I've written about is from my experience growing up here in this particular area. As a matter of fact, I'll play a song from the new album that has to do with this, okay? Now, this is what I was supposed to bring the DX7 for, okay? This song is actually played with a like a clavinet and a guitar and these drums that sound like somebody's rowing. Boom! Whack! Boom! That kind of sound, and then there's a fiddle in it. The song is called the Downeaster Alexa. I have to explain the title. I have a boat called, it's named after my daughter, Alexa Ray. It was built in Maine. It's a particular kind of hull. Now, have you ever seen lobster boats? Most commercial boats have a particular kind of hull. It's an old-fashioned looking hull. There's the shear line on it. Drops down, it's very graceful. It's just a traditional looking boat. And they call those types of hulls, if they're built in Maine, a Downeaster. It's a type of boat. And the song is really about the baymen out here on the east end of Long Island who are having a tough time. And it deals with a particular group of Long Islanders who are still living here and having some difficulties.
Left this morning from the Bell in Gardner's Bay. Like all the locals here, I had to sell my home. Too proud to leave, I worked my fingers to the bone so I could own my Downeaster Alexa. And I go where the ocean is deep. There are giants out there in the canyons, and a good captain can't fall asleep. I got bills to pay and children who need clothes. I know there's fish out there, but where God only knows. They say these waters are in what they used to be. But I got people back online who count on me. So if you see my Downeaster Alexa, and if you work with the rod and the reel, tell my wife when I'm trolling Atlantis, and I still have my hands on the wheel. Yo-yo. There's a little solo here. A seagull sound. Now I drive my Downeaster Alexa more and more miles from shore every year. Since they told me I can't sell no stripers, and there's no luck in swordfishing here. I was a bayman like my father was before. You can't make a living as a bayman anymore. There ain't much future for a man who works the sea. There ain't no island left for islanders like me. Yo, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo.
So that's the Long Island part. It is an island. A lot of people forget that. It's an island. Okay. Where haven't I been for a while? Truthfully, I'm serious. All right, let's go to the front row. Something radical.
Hi, I have all your albums and I love you and everything. And I came across an album called California Flash or something like that.
That's one of those bootleg jobs.
Yeah, and I was wondering if it was made in this country and what year it was and how it came about.
I think it was made like Thailand or something. Italy? Is it Italy? No, those Italians. No, I think they just did a compilation of like, I mean, I was in bands before I was a singer-songwriter, solo artist. The Hassles and the heavy metal band called Attila.
That was it.
You have that?
I could tell her.
You guys were sick. That was nasty. Yeah, in the meat locker, right? That was one of my favorite shots. Standing in a meat locker.
What year was that album made?
California Flash? I don't have a clue. I don't have the slightest. I'm assuming that as soon as I got well known as Billy Joel, they went around and go, you know, hey, Billy Joel, who's Billy Joel? We can put it together, we can put it out, we can put it in California Flash, we can beat this out, okay? They don't give a shit, what do you care? He got plenty of money, he's on it. It's okay, fine. That happens all the time. Bootlegs and actually that's the entire Soviet Union record industry. It's just bootleg and black market. We asked when we went over there, how many copies of the album should we bring? Just bring one. We take care of the rest. It's all like this. Okay, this is different right here.
When you write a song, at which point do you say to yourself, I'm going to continue with this and record it, or this is, forget it, we just put it on the shelf somewhere? And do you always make that decision?
When I decide when it's going to be on the record or not, sometimes you get right down to the end of an album. I mean, we just shot a song the other day. I call it tuning it. It's like, you know, putting a horse out of its misery. I thought it was good. And then a lot of other stuff got written, and then it just went, just kind of dropped down, just in relationship to the other songs. I mean, it's still a good song on its own, but it's not going to work on the record. Doesn't mean it's a bad song, just not going to work on this particular record. And maybe it'll be on the B side of a single or something, just to do something different.
What would you say is your batting average when it comes to songs, when writing?
Well, on this particular album, I probably wrote more than I have on other albums. Mick wanted me to have, 12 songs. By the time I came to the studio, I said, you want me to have what? But, it should have 10, 11, 12 songs. Prepared and rehearsed. And what? So spend a lot of useless, silly time in the studio. Spend a lot of money. Don't spend a lot of money in the studio. What an amazing idea. You mean right before I go in? Yeah, something like that. And because I had a lot of respect for him, I actually wrote a lot of stuff. And a few of the things we pulled the plug on, I think, near the beginning of the album. There was a song called Money and Love, which may surface as something else. What was the other one? Oh, You Picked a Real Bad Time, which my wife never liked. She never liked that song. She goes, they're going to think I'm a nag if you put that song in. But you have to take into consideration, you also have a home life. If you put that out, I'm going to never let you. And it was just about, the song was about being in a bad mood. It's like, don't get me wrong. They weren't, like Cream or something. Don't get me wrong. I ain't the kind to turn away from you when something's on your mind, but you had to know. Just had to see. I'm having trouble, baby, and it's just too much for me. You make a real bad time.
Let's joke.
For my imagination, you make a real bad time. Pass along bad news. Tell me why you try to give me aggravation. You make a real bad time. This man's got the blues. Well, maybe it's not off the album.
B-sides! Use
But we tried it
B-sides!
a couple of different ways, and it didn't fly. Sometimes you don't know till you record it, and you try recording it a couple of different ways that it won't work. And my drummer is from Long Island. He played in like a lot of bar bands like I did, and he can play every which way you want. Let's try it this way. Like a reggae. Don't get in the wrong. Try like a boogie. Try it like ska. Any which way. Nothing works so far. Maybe there's a way it can come back to life, but I tend to think if a recording session is not working, then it's the song. I always do that. If we don't get it within the first 5 takes, I know what the song wasn't good enough. It's me, I know it's me, the song's not good enough. And where Mick has helped, and a lot of us, he'll keep us going. I mean, I've rarely done more than 8 takes on a song. He's had us going 15, 22, 29. And it's, Mick, it's not, no, that's nice. You almost had it, to take back. If you just kind of, why don't you have a beer, come back, And more stuff has worked, but I've thrown out a lot of songs too. Say my batting average, usually when I do an album, I get to about 10, 11 songs. That's it, I'm just totally drained. But I had a longer time to do this record too. It's been almost 3 years since the last new original material album came out, so it was a long time. Yes.
Hi, my name is Brenda, and I'm from Hampton. And I just want to say that song from the album about the band is just great. It hits home for me and my sister, about our father and our brother. And my question is, do you have a mentor, and if more than one, who are they? Someone who inspired you? And also, what made you choose a name like Brenda for Seems from Italian Restaurant?
Brenda and Eddie just sound like people I knew, if I had to pick 2 names, and I really didn't know anybody named Brenda, and I didn't know anybody named Eddie. If you added up all the people I knew, all the women I knew, they'd be Brenda. And all the guys I knew, they'd be Eddie, I don't think I knew an Eddie till I met Eddie Steinman, No, Eddie Cadillac. I remember Eddie Cadillac. He had a great pompadour, like the front of a Cadillac. That's how I remember him. Big, way out, Eddie Cadillac. Great name, What's your name? Eddie Cadillac. But they were good names. They were good names out of my past, out of my era. For some reason, Brenda and Eddie. They just sound like a couple. Some people have a name that sits well in a song. There was a song called James. And the guy I was talking about, his name wasn't James, but I couldn't do a song called Fred. Right off the bat, you're like, I hope it's a funny song. Certain names have a certain sound. And I'm sorry, who was it? Did I have a mentor? You mean someone I knew personally?
It doesn't have to be personally. I mean, someone, maybe even a performer that inspired you when you were younger.
My mentor, Beethoven to me was amazing, and he wrote most of those symphonies without ever hearing them. And that knocks me out. I don't understand how the guy was Titanic. The right. He's out in the audience going.
I hope you like it,
I can't issue it. I hope it's good. Never, but it was all inside. That was Titanic genius to me. To me, he was like the most phenomenal musician and composer who ever lived. For popular music, it was the Beatles. The Beatles synthesized a lot of things I liked about music into popular music. The energy of American rock and roll into the, what was an English approach to it, which I've always admired. They did that for me. Personally, it was probably my maternal grandfather, who was my mentor. The guy never held a steady job in his life, but he was really smart. And he was very, very intelligent. He would stay in bed at night reading logarithms. Bertrand Russell, and he was an intellectual. And, you know, I figured out he's got to be. He figured out how not to work, you know. My grandmother did all the work, you know. And he was just a really intelligent, interesting man. I mean, personally, yes. Wait, I gotta go over to this side now. This way. Okay, all the way over to the end there. Yeah.
Sure. When you first started lessons, did you study improvisation, and did that help you to write your songs? And did you ever think about like having a concert or a seminar where you would help improvise with students?
I wanted to be a teacher a long time ago. I wanted to be a history teacher, actually. But I didn't graduate high school. So it was, I passed the test, so I got good marks. I just didn't go enough. I was working in clubs as a musician. I was working till 3 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock would come around, homeroom. And I'm thinking, what am I going to learn in homeroom? You know, really don't think you need homeroom. I had to go to homeroom. And then you'd have gym. Gym is good, but really, gym, I can't see being, you know, like a real big brain after gym. Like, I just didn't make any sense. First period, gym, you know, I have to work until 3 o'clock in the night. I want to get up and do jumping jacks, right? Again. Didn't go to gym. Then after that, there was something like study. I missed a lot of school. I got in, and they said, well, you've only showed up 50 days out of a 180-day school year. I said, I passed all the tests. Come on. I said, no, you got to go to summer school. Right, after 12 years, I'm going to go to summer school. Hold your breath. I knew I wasn't going to go to college, and what I told them was, I said, I'm not going to Columbia U, I'm going to Columbia Records. That's what I wanted to do. But I lost track of what the question was. The answer was
great. Did your lessons and improvising help you to write songs?
Okay, I didn't really get lessons in improvisation. For the most part, I just learned music by rote. By improvisation, I pretty much did that on my own, which is why I got in big trouble with my father. Just show you. I'd have to play a classical piece of music. So I started going. Came down the stairs, one shot, laid me, boom! And knocked me out. It's the only time I ever remember my father hit me. I mean, he knocked me out. And don't you ever do that again. I thought, man, there's got to be something to this improvisation. This is a strong response. And I would, that's how I started improvising. I just started kind of messing around with things. Like if I found a piece boring, like those exercises you have to learn, hand. Just to keep it interesting for myself. That's really how I started improvising.
You have a lot of sarcasm in your writing, like the entertainer or anything like that. What was your intention with that?
It's very sarcastic. Yeah, that was a pretty sarcastic song.
McDonald?
Huh?
McDonald is it?
Oh, well, why is that sarcastic? I mean, it's lousy food, but once in a while I like it, you know? What, am I getting in trouble for that? Oh, entertainment's here tonight. Entertainment tonight's here. Joel loves McDonald's. Details at 11. Billy and the Murders. There's a lot in life to be sarcastic about. I mean, I can poke fun at myself, and that's why I think I can poke fun at other things. The Entertainer, I got in a lot of trouble with radio stations. I had a hit with Piano Man right before that. And I sort of got a glimpse of what it was like to be like a pop star after Piano Man. And so much of it was a bunch of baloney, especially living in Los Angeles, because like in LA, man, like everybody is just like so full of baloney, man. It's like totally, like really, like everybody's a producer. Like I'm a producer. What do you produce? Well, I have a production deal. I like an executive producer. What are you producing? Producing what? Where? Show me. What do you do? I'm a producer. I produce, whatever, concepts. And I started writing about stuff. I am an entertainer. I'm so full of crap. And like seeing like the big, because to me like the word star literally means large ball of gas. And I thought, okay, I'm going to write about that side of it. And now radio stations heard the song. We just gave him a hit with Calamine, and now he's fetching about it? The hell with the guy. So I got in trouble with my career with that song. It's like, see, it's too much of a smart ass for us. But once in a while, it's a way of blowing off steam, to tell you the truth. So, and hopefully other people, remember that movie, it was a network? What's his name? Peter, if he throws up the window, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore. I think people need to do that, and they should hear that in art and music a lot of times. I think it's a good thing to do. I mean, punk rock did that for me. It's like, everything is a piece of crap. Well, it made a point, Life is a cesspool. Well, I felt like that certainly. And now the lady behind me.
I just wanted to ask you, when you did the Disney movie, how did you like doing that kind of music?
That was, well actually I didn't write that song, it was written by Dan Hartman.
Well, just to be involved in that.
That was fun, I'll tell you why. People send me scripts. Producers. They send me scripts, they want me to be in the movies. Why they want me to be in movies, I don't know. I'll tell you why. I see photos of me, and I photograph like what my mother used to call a matzo pudding. I don't think I'm bad looking, but I can't take a good photo. Now my wife, she can blow her nose, she can whatever she wants to do. She can't take a bad picture. She goes, oh, I hate that picture. You look like Grace Kelly, what are you talking about? And I'm next to her like, right, and what does it say? What's the little thing underneath? Beauty and the Beast. No, it doesn't bother me. I know, I get up in the morning, I look in the mirror, are you clean? Fine. It's good enough for me. But I'm not crazy about the camera, and you'll see from the photos in the paper, why? He didn't look like that when I saw him, but I will look like this in the paper. So I'm not friends with the camera, but I love the movies. I go to the movies all the time. I wish they changed the movies more often out here. And there's other movies besides all the sequel movies. I mean, once in a while, throw something, it's interesting in there. But I always loved the movies, and when I was a kid, I especially loved the Disney movies. I remember Disney movies like Pinocchio. Scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. I'm never gonna lie again. And Bambi, and there were just great movies. And Disney asked me to be a voice of a cartoon cat now, and I just had a kid. So hey, you want me to be the voice of a dog in a Walt Disney movie, and sing a song? Oh, I have to think about it 2 seconds. Dad, my kids, I'm gonna be a hero with my kid. That's Daddy. And she likes it. You're a nice dog. That's a good dog. Funny dog. That's my daddy.